You're on.
Today is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. It is now 6 p.m., and this is a regular City Commission meeting of the City of West Miami. This meeting is called to order. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, thank you, and happy birthday to our mayor and vice mayor who recently celebrated.
And the clerk.
And the clerk. Oh, today, well, happy birthday. I have a quote from Henry Ford I just wanted to read simply. It says, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." May we always see success here in the city of West Miami. Let us pray. God, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for, Lord, the celebrations of birthdays and the life that you give. We thank you for the city and the community, for everyone who lives and works here and sacrifices, giving of their lives, Lord. We thank you for our commission, our council, our police, Lord, everyone who is involved, Lord, because we know that things don't just run on their own. It comes from people working together. So, God, this evening, may we be reminded that we are more than just citizens. We're a community together, that you have brought us here. Lord, may our words be seasoned, Lord, and gentle. And in all things, may we remember that we have great success as we walk together. We thank you and we pray all these things in your mighty and holy name. Amen.
Amen.
The pledge hasn't been that loud in a while, so I got all these kids here. It's good. We like it. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Item 3, roll call. Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Vice Mayor Natalie Milian Orbis. Here. Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for February 12, 2025, regular commission meeting.
Motion. Second.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any
Thank
against?
you.
Hearing none, the item passes. Next item, please.
Item 5, public comments.
Anyone for public comment? Going once, going twice, sold. Public comment is now closed. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, and residents. Let's try it again. Good evening, everybody. If we can start first, I'd like to have Adrian Lorenzo to come up to the microphone. We want to discuss, as you know, we approved him to be the leasee at 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue. During that presentation, we said that we would bring back his color scheme for the building. And what we want to try to do here now is to show you, I think you have 2 or 3 different versions.
It's 3.
I think I saw a third one come in late in the afternoon.
Yeah, there's 3 different versions. right now.
So we'd like to show you that so that you guys can get an idea as to which ones you like, so we can give him some direction on that. And then he's also going to talk about some of his plans for the building. If I can have that slide put up, please.
And just for the benefit of those in the audience, once we just run through this top of the agenda, I'm going to move up the presentation so you guys can have your moment. All right, Mr. Lorenzo, floor is yours.
Floors. Okay, so this is, I guess it's, first of all, thank you guys for having me, everybody, Mayor, City Commission. It's an honor to be here. I've always sat from those seats over there and watched on the stream, but never been up here talking. What we have planned for the 1811 Southwest 67th Avenue location is effectively an outgrowth of our company, Cultura Media House. It's going to be called Casa Cultura. It's going to be a community for creatives, by creatives. It is like I said, an outgrowth of the creative company and creative agency that already is in existence. And this will be a art gallery micro cinema, flex space for different types of creative events, lectures, workshops, open mics, anything creative. This aims to be the place to be able to house that and kind of project that forward. It's also going to have a coffee shop attached to it, an outdoor coffee shop with a patio that is all in the planning phases right now, but we have secured what at least the initial coffee residency will look like on the front end from the coffee shop standpoint. That will be on the other side of the drawing you see here. What you see here is a muralized mock-up of what the 67th Avenue facing side will look like. This mural I'll be doing myself, as well as along the far end of the mechanic shop. The whole building, we intend for it to be muralized, both the exterior and the interior as well. So we hope that this is a place where the community can gather to absorb art, to absorb culture, and to have all sorts of different creative events and outside of creativity as well, whether it be wellness, just general education, and hopefully to host different creative classes and workshops for not just us ourselves, but for the kids in our community as well.
And if I may, I'm going to show you all three versions. That's one. That's the first, that's one, I think. Nope, nope. It would be nice if I knew how to use these things, huh? Yeah.
Maybe you can just paint it on the wall here.
Yeah.
Was
I
that,
know.
if you want, we can start there if you want me to sketch it out over here. No, so this should be done in short order. Once it's approved,
Yeah,
I
go
work
ahead.
pretty quickly. I can get going on this, whatever design we land
There we
on.
go. That's one version right there, a second version right here, and that is the third version.
Commissioner Chavez, you're recognized.
Just wanted to make a comment while we were waiting for that. Adrian is actually from the community, and just like you guys here in the front row, he grew up at the rec center playing Little League Baseball. We played together, and now he's grown up and he's wanting to be involved in our community in a different respect. So I'm honored that you're up here in front of us and super proud of you, and thank you for bringing this to us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm born and raised in this community. My family and we actually have 3 houses in this community. I live a few blocks from my parents, and actually, I'm 3 blocks from this location myself. And my parents, if you go to the alley on the back, my parents' house is actually connected to the same alley. So, very much of this community, from this community, but also trying to just bring the things that I already work on, or that me and my company already work on, and try to kind of bring it to this community here as well. So.
Anyone from the board?
Are we deciding on one today?
What I would like, yes, is some direction from the board as to which one of the 3 versions you would all prefer.
Okay, then yes.
Well, I had a question.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Hi, Mr. Lorenzo.
Hello,
Very nice
hello.
to see you.
Likewise,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
bringing us the renderings. They're very nice. I love that it's going to be beautifying a space in the city. Are you doing these freehand, or are you
Yes.
spray painting them?
Freehand brush and roller, some combination of brush and roller. Now, there is a degree to which these mock-ups don't really do a mural justice, because there's all sorts of different lighting and dimensions that
Right.
it'll look better in person. But yeah, I'll be freehanding the mural myself.
Okay. And the bottom is the ground, or
The bottom
is
is
that the
the
building?
ground. Yeah, the bottom is that. So where you see that the building kind of juts upward, like it'll be extended out to the sidewalk, like basically right up into the sidewalk that the mural should extend.
And it's going to be black and white?
Black and white.
And my only concern with the black and white on the ground is that are there cars that are going to be driving on that?
So it won't be on at least not in this current version. We're not talking about like the parking lot area.
Okay.
But there shouldn't be any cars in that front
Got it.
area that's facing the sidewalk.
Okay. And the signs are also drawn by hand?
They can be, yes. No, actually, the sign in the middle right there, that you imagine like an old school, like a movie theater, or one of like the Trail Theater or the Miracle Theater, where you can, I'm forgetting what I'm losing the verbiage as to what that's called.
Called Duffy's.
There you go. So, that'll be an attachment on top, but everything else should be painted.
It's like a marquee.
A marquee, there it is. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I'll yield to the rest of the comments. It's very nice. I don't know if this is going to go to our branding committee or our planning and zoning board for review.
Mr. Manager?
Yeah.
We've,
Yeah, Mr. Manager, and then answer the question. and then-
actually,
and
when
then
we
Commissioner-
approved this, we said that we bring back the painting of the building to the commission for your approval. The signage will have to go in front of the planning and zoning board, but not the painting of the building. We really don't have we don't even have a full quorum, neither in our Art and Public Places Board nor in our Branding Board. And Mr. Lorenzo wants to be able to try to open up by June, so.
Right,
Thank you.
Commissioner Blanes?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't think it should be up to us to decide what design he puts up. This is art. Who are we to judge art? You know what they say about art? It's like a frog. If you dissect it, you kill it.
Well, you got three options.
So-
Pick
So,
one.
I mean, it should be up to the artist, really. Why should it be up to us?
All right, Adrian, which one of the three do you recommend?
I actually
us.
ended up gravitating. It's like picking between three children. I would imagine. It's like I gravitate probably toward this one myself. This one's it's a little bit busier, but it leaves openness and room for color as we kind of move forward through it as well. So it could go through some evolutions and some phasing in terms of adding coloring, especially if we decide on a palette and something that is cohesive and makes sense moving forward. What I will say is like you'll see that the exterior mural will play with the floor mural that's going to also go on the inside of the building. So the whole building will effectively be muralized, but I think I lean toward this one. It's a little bit busier, but again, this is a little bit misguiding in terms of like this rendering, like what it'll actually look like when you see the corners and the crevices of the building and the way it plays with it. It'll elevate the overall experience. Now, I will not be projecting this out and tracing this out exactly. This is about as close as I could get to what it would look like, but it still will be the way that I draw, to your point, or the way that I paint is very much more in the moment. It's inspired by something, but then what's happening in the moment is what comes out. So it'll be an approximation to this.
I think it would be more authentic if we let the artist decide which one he wants. I mean, you know, in the spirit of art, in the spirit of creativity, I think we should yield to the artist.
If it helps, this is coming to my community as well, and like so it'll be a external representation of.
I got a
of
question,
us.
though.
Yeah, please.
Is Waldo in there somewhere?
No, not in this particular one. I think that was rendering 4.
Go ahead.
Maybe we can put him in there and have people come look for it. They find it, they get a drink. You know?
We
Get
can
a free
work that in, I
coffee.
think.
What,
I'll be looking for Waldo.
Okay.
All right, we need a decision from the boards in some capacity here. So what, anyone want to move this any sort of way, or?
I think the commissioner wanted to move it.
Do you want to move that?
Do we have to make a motion? Motion.
Or
As good as anyone else?
Well, wait a minute. Do we need to make a
Yeah,
motion
let's
to
get
approve
guidance.
it?
No, we don't.
No,
No,
let's get guidance.
the manager's looking for direction. There's no
Yeah,
motion. So,
no motion.
but are we all kind of consensus on this, or are we all good?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
All
your
right,
time.
Mr. Lorenzo, looking
Thank you,
forward
Ms.
to it.
Lorenzo.
Thank you.
Ivan, was he as good as you, or you were better than him? He was better?
Mr. Manager,
Very quickly, I'm going
yeah.
to try to skip through my manager's report a little bit today, since we have a full house and we want to
do.
get to them. I do want to remind the commission, the residents, that we have a few events that are upcoming. Music Under the Stars on April the 11th with 2 very entertaining bands. Food trucks at Cooper Park at 7:30. We invite all our residents and guests to please be there. Our annual Easter event is on the 19th of April, starting at 10 a.m. with rides, Easter egg hunts, and petting zoos. And additionally, our 4th of July will be at the Rec Center this year with rides, food trucks, and a spectacular firework display that will start at 5 p.m. A couple other things of note. Our vacuum truck is fixed and should be put back into service by the end of this month. Our city engineer will discuss timelines, but we do have 2 drainage projects that will commence soon. One on 17th Street and the other on 12th Street. We will also be doing a chicane on 65th and 12th, which will help reduce speeding down that strip, and it will also increase our footprint for our future dog park. Starting next week, you will see our Public Works Department going around to all the drains, and we will systematically be putting mosquito dunks, which help control the larvae for the season that's about to start. So we want to try to maintain our drains so that we don't have infestation of mosquitoes. We will also be talking about a potential solution for some of the traffic issues with the apartment buildings on Southwest 67th Avenue tonight. As I said at the Park and Rec Center, Cooper Park has a pretty big section of that park that's closed to traffic right now because it's been overused, and we've had an issue with the sod, so we're trying to let it recover. We are temporarily replacing the signs at Cooper Park in the next couple of weeks because those that are there are faded, and they just need to be temporarily replaced while we come up with a better and brighter look for Cooper Park in the future. And lastly, I also want to close out by saying I wish our city clerk a very happy birthday, and I also want to wish a very happy belated birthday to both the mayor and the vice mayor. And with that, I will conclude my manager's report. I'm here to answer any questions you all may have.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the manager on his report?
I don't have any questions.
You have a written report in front of you as well. Hearing none, report of the city attorney?
Yes, on the recommendation of the Code Enforcement Board, you are likely to receive at one or more next commission meetings a proposed ordinance to impose a late fee upon fines after the case is closed and the fine remains unpaid. After 30 days, impose a late fee, and then a modest interest rate as those fines go unpaid. That is distinct from prior to the case being closed, the fine repeats each day. The board is talking about after the case is closed and those fines just remain fully unpaid, we should have a late fee and an interest rate, and we'll bring that to you.
Okay. Anything else for your report? Anyone have any questions for the attorney on his report? Seeing none. Report of the engineer?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. To follow up on some of the topics that the manager touched upon, just give an update first off on the ongoing construction projects. The water project, as you all know, we have going on right now. The project is approximately 60 to 70% complete. We just finished line work on 12th Street between 57th and 62nd, which was a lot of fun. So we're starting on the next phase of the construction west of 62nd along 12th Street. So that'll be the next area of heavy activity. In case any of the residents reach out to you, that's what we'll have going on. So for over the next 3 months or so, we'll be working on 12th Street between 62nd and 65th Avenue. One of the items that has been brought to my attention is regarding on 63rd Avenue. We're trying to get the contractor out there to mill and resurface that street so that it's complete. Right now, it's been temporarily patched, which has some uneven pavement out there, obviously not ideal. We're working with the contractor to get that done as soon as possible. More than likely, it'll be next month because we still have some work we have to do on 63rd. So we're looking sometime in May to be able to mobilize him and get them to do milling and resurfacing of 63rd and complete that street and get out of there. What you see up on the screen is another item that the manager referred to. We're looking at some traffic calming solutions around the multifamily developments between 22nd and 20th Street. As you know, historically, the 20th and 22nd Street have been pretty severe in terms of cut-through traffic and speeding, and we've had difficulty over the years calming that and trying different measures to the east. So we're looking at one potential solution and discussing with the manager of putting in essentially what will reroute traffic on 20th and kind of focus it down on 22nd Street, where we would add also a traffic calmer down there. So this would basically force people to go down to 22nd and discourage cut-through traffic through 20th, which does seem to be the worst, although 22nd is pretty bad as well. But on 22nd, we do have a traffic circle to the east there. As part of the Paseo project, we're looking at doing a raised intersection on 65th and then doing a traffic calmer on 66 for the traffic coming down. So that they would have kind of 3 traffic calming devices there. In addition to the rerouting traffic, hopefully it would discourage some of that cut-through traffic and slow people down. So I prepared a concept, and then we'll move forward with, we're looking at it initially doing some delineators out there for the diversion, just to kind of see how that works. Not a permanent solution, but just something temporary that we can see if it's actually working. And then we'll move forward with a final solution to implement there. Some of the other items that were touched upon were drainage. We're looking at a few areas that have been already designed and have just been on the shelf. So depending on the funding that we have, we're looking at an area on 12th Street and off of 57th and 17th Street and 65th. And there's another spot that we'll look at as well if the funding allows that will address drainage this year. Finally, the dog park. We're looking to get bids right now so we can put in the infrastructure and hopefully get that done as soon as possible. As soon as next month, if we can get the contractor out there to build the curb, build the chicane, and then we can develop the park from there. One last thing, we did have a kickoff meeting today with our traffic consultant. We have a grant from the TPO to do a complete street bike and ped safety study. So we kicked that off today. So you may see the little tubes out in the street for traffic counts and turning movements and so forth, the initial parts of that study. And we will have a public involvement meeting as soon as they get some data. We're going to have an initial meeting with the public that'll hopefully happen the next couple months. So that's where we're at. Any questions?
Any questions for the engineer?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Back at the town hall that we had in February, there was a resident who mentioned the crosswalks on 18 and 62nd around the traffic circle. I noticed that reflectors were installed around the circle, but not the crosswalk itself. So I wanted to ask you about that and the potential of doing that sooner than later.
Okay. Yeah, I'll discuss that with the manager, and we'll certainly can do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with that whatsoever. Yeah.
Go ahead.
We're actually going to be doing some work on the circle, some more decorative work around that, so we can do that as part of that project.
Okay.
That's the reason why we haven't really done anything on that crosswalk. We also have an approval for another crosswalk further east of that that we haven't installed yet, but we need to do some work still around that traffic circle. Specifically, we need to bring some power out to the traffic circle to light up the art piece, and we haven't been able to get that done yet. Once we do that, then we'll be able to move forward with all the reflectors and put them in.
Okay.
Commissioner Chavez?
My question this has to do with crosswalks as well. There was one that was going to be being installed between 12th and 13th on 62nd also?
Yes.
An update on that?
I don't have an update on that. I'm not sure if that was finally approved yet by the county, but I'll get you an update on that. I know it was into the county for review, but I don't know if we have a final approval on it yet.
Perfect. And then to a similar idea as the vice mayor, if we can have those reflectors installed at this one here on 9th Street as well?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Perfect.
Anyone else for the engineer?
I have a question, but I answered before.
Oh, well, that's good too. That's even better.
It's clear, everything.
Alrighty, anything else for your report?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty.
Committee reports?
So we had a Parks and Rec meeting right before this meeting, and Jenny, right here, I'd like to bring her up to give a quick update on some grants, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
Johan's going to bring up the slides for me, please, from the meeting.
Ismail?
Do you have the?
If we can just,
Okay, well, regarding Cooper Park, we have completed the installation of the exercise equipment. We will be moving forward, well, we've closed the solicitation for the rubberizing of the exercise areas, so that should be coming before you in the next upcoming commission meeting. We have future grant opportunities that we're looking for the multi-generational center to do, that we've already received funding for, to redo the baseball, softball field, as well as to do the pickleball and redo the tennis courts. So there's a lot of work that's going to be coming along. For Cooper Park, we're going to move forward with the expansion of the walkway around the park to move up to 8 feet, which is regulation at this time. because it's a already existing pathway. If it was a new pathway, we would have to do 10 feet for ADA purposes, but we're going to expand it to 8 feet. This is the multi-generational center, a different presentation to be coming for everyone's enjoyment and pleasure. Let's go on to the rooms. So this is off the topic, but just as I'm going through the photos, this is what we're looking at coming for that recreational center, and potential opportunities for the kiosk at Cooper Park. Some ideas that the city has to expand and bring more events and activities to the community for the community. There are the exercise equipment that I've seen plenty of people using, so I'm happy everyone's enjoying it. This is, we received the notice to proceed from the grant agency, so we are now able to move forward with the solicitation for a contractor to do the work there. And this is the recreation center, which we also received the notice to proceed from the grant agency to be able to move forward on those projects. So that's all upcoming. This is our vision for upcoming projects for the multi-generational recreation center. We're looking to do a solar panel cover over the basketball courts. Again, resod the baseball field to do the resod. What this grant is, the one we are currently existing, is going to be to revamp, to move the mounds so that it's not going, it's a little bit easier or better positioning for the balls. So our future project would be replace the existing play areas, do PIP is pour in place for rubberizing surface, and to install an informational kiosk. There's for Cooper Park, again, future grants is going to be towards restoring the existing rubberized surface at one of the play areas closest to the restrooms, and then removing the mulch and redoing with a rubberized surface at the other play area closest to Publix at the corner of 16th there. And we want to redo the restrooms to ADA accessibility and also informational kiosk. And for a more expansive project is to remove the sand and replace that sandbox with the rubberized surface for safety and less mess. We want to expand on Garden Club Park, which is a beautiful little park that we have. Some of the items we're looking to do is replace both playground systems, install the pour in place, replace the picnic tables, install benches, replace the fencing, and install an informational kiosk where we could keep the community up to date on events and activities throughout the city. And our little, not forgotten, but small park, Lorraine Park, we want to get there and expand it. We want to install a name sign so that we could have a name and so everybody knows what the park's name is. I don't know if anybody knew it was Lorraine Park. We're going to replace the playground system, build a metal roof over the play area. Again, these are ideas. Doesn't mean they're going to be standalones or they're for sure, but we will do these in discussions. These are just items that we're looking at. Install a gazebo, benches, and replace the fence or install a more secure fencing in that area. So these are the ideas and the items we have for the grants at this time. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your
You're
work. You're very professional in that.
Thank you, sir.
How much in dollars amount did the grant?
Which grant? The ones that we have existing?
Yeah, and the grant for the project that you showed.
Okay, so let me go back. This, what we have for this particular grant that we have on hand, that we have been accepted and received, this was written for $50,000 to expand on the walking path. This grant here is for $400,000 for the grant agency and $400,000 for the city. So it's $800,000 to.
So almost a
I
million.
think that one. For just those two projects that we received, that we have received funding.
Total is almost $1 million.
So these are future grants that I'm going to apply. We have not applied yet, and we have not received funding for these. These are future opportunities that we are going to move forward with. So we are going to be looking for more grants to expand the parks, where most of the grants are a 50-50 match. So if they give us $400,000, the city has to come up with $400,000, and when we seek reimbursement, they give us back just the $400,000. So that's a
Commission-
good way to afford and move forward with a lot of projects.
Commissioner, so
very
you
much.
understand, the very first two have been approved. These last two are the ones that we're going to be putting into the agencies for approval for the future. But yes, we have the first two that have been approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions? No? Okay, you're up.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, I'd
Yes.
like to move items E and F to the top of the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
And item E, please you read it. I know it's Commissioner Chavez's item, so.
Okay, item 11E, this is a presentation of certificates of appreciation to West Miami Recreation Center 12U Basketball Team 2025 Co-Ed 5-on-5 Basketball League Champions. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Chavez Jr.
Hi, guys. So Ivan Chavez, I'm sitting up here as a commissioner, but I still see myself in you guys because I grew up and I sat in those same seats at the rec center, actually with John Michael, your coach. He didn't always have that beard. It took him a little while to grow it, but we're super proud of you guys. According to John Michael, it's been, I think, 12 years that you guys have been in that league, and this is the first time that you've won it. Round of applause for them. So it's a 12 and under team, so some of you guys weren't even born when the league started for you guys, but it's a league comprised of all City of Miami parks, and we're actually the only team that's not from within City of Miami that goes. So what I asked John, they won, I think it was 22-10, not to beat them so hard next time because they might not invite them back. But we just want to congratulate you guys and give you a little certificate of appreciation for you. We also, of course, want to thank John for the work that he's doing with you guys. We had somebody named Adolfo Yanis, which was our John Michael, and my parents that are in the back there, they had the full trust to let us be all day with him, right? Like, that guy was like a big brother to us, and I know John is like that to you guys. So for you parents, just to rest assured that you have an amazing guy there leading your kids. Round of applause for him. So, along with the pride of you guys winning, I asked John, I said, you know, tell me about these kids, and he couldn't stop talking about how amazing you guys were as people as well. There are two kids that he mentioned, and he said that this isn't necessarily because they are the best player, whether they are or not. They said that these are two kids that the rest of the kids look up to, and so he called them his MVPs, and those two kids are Kevin Contreras. Please stand up. And the next one, and I want to know if they're related to Natalie in the back. I haven't seen Natalie in a long time, but she actually grew up at the rec center here too. Sean Martinez. So we have certificates of appreciation for all of you, but for the MVPs, and this is something for all of you guys to try and aspire to be next year's MVP, we have a couple gift cards here as well. And this is on behalf of the commission. And the lesson to learn here is you guys won, you kicked butt, you brought it home for our city, but aside from winning, just be good people and look up to those people that are doing good things. So again, learn from these two and keep up the good work as well. John says you're all amazing kids, and for the parents back there, you all should be very proud. So.
Did you ever win a championship here?
I won this right here. One last thing, sorry, Mr. Manager. Speaking to John, I think it'd be cool to create a plaque with their photo on it and have it at the rec center so that the kids that come through in the future can try to get their championship plaque up there as well. If we can do that for them too.
Anyways,
Absolutely.
We can get everyone up here. John Michael, come up here as well, and let's have the certificates.
As they're coming up, also, the city is going to give them a pizza party. I think it's this Friday? Yeah. Yeah.
He's the silent partner.
Well, can we get a picture with the parents?
So Tommy,
We have more parents than kids.
Thomas grew up here too with his sister right here, and her son is on the team. So that's really cool to
Smile, smile. ¿Tuviste en el televisor? Qué lindo se ve. ¿Tú lo viste?
Alrighty.
Se veía el grupo grande, todo. Lindo, lindo, lindo. Parecía una cuestión de la televisión profesional.
We got a lot of boring stuff coming, so I don't know if we do have another.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Don Michael.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you can start reading item F.
Yes, item F, presentation of proclamation to Yvonne Picado for completing the 39-mile bike ride Dolphins Cancer Challenge. This item is sponsored by Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Mr. Manager, can you provide some context, please?
Yvonne, come on up, please, and so that you can get your proclamation. Yvonne's been doing this. She's been very active in the community that she's been engaged at. This is one of the things she does. She gives back to the community by doing a 39-mile. She's embarrassed to come up, but a 39-mile bike ride every year for cancer awareness. It's a very good cause. It signifies the dedication that our staff and our members have to the community and to giving back to the populace as a whole. She's a very valued member of our staff here, and we're very proud that she took this endeavor on, and she volunteered to do so.
Using an electric bike, right? No. Anyways, let's come up for the proclamation.
How many miles? 200 miles?
Whereas the city of West Miami takes great pride in recognizing outstanding employees who demonstrate commitment, perseverance, and spirit of community service. And whereas Juan Picado, get the last name wrong, Picado, a dedicated employee of the city of West Miami, participated in the Dolphins Cancer Challenge event, an initiative that raises funds by successfully riding 39 miles on February 22nd, 2025, starting the UM campus and finishing at Hard Rock Stadium. So they can't even make it there to go to the games. For her participation, she exemplified resilience, determination, and compassion by supporting a cause that impacts countless individuals and families affected by cancer. And her dedication to this global cause not only reflects her personal commitment to health and wellness, but also brings recognition and pride to the city of West Miami and its employees. And whereas the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami wish to commend and honor Yvonne McCall for her outstanding efforts in contributing to cancer research and for being an inspiration to her colleagues and community. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Luis Padron, Vice Mayor Natalie Villalobos, Commissioners Juan Blanes, Ivan Chavez Jr., and Luciano Suarez do hereby recognize and commend Yvonne McCall for her participation in the Dolphins Cancer Challenge.
I know.
All right, the fun stuff is done. Madam Clerk, go back to the regular order of the agenda, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, item 10, unfinished business. Item 10A, this item was deferred at the February 12, 2025 commission meeting, and this is a resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami providing for medical benefit reimbursement for former elected officials who have served 3 complete and consecutive full terms on the commission and have reached Medicare eligibility age, establishing reimbursement for the cost of a Medicare supplemental insurance plan beginning after their departure from service and providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Suarez.
Okay, let's see if anyone has changed from when this last came.
This was in the last month agenda. So I hope everybody understood and everybody read about it. So I make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes,
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
No.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
No.
3-2, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 11, under new business agenda items, item 11A, this is a second reading and a public hearing. An ordinance of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami relating to the operation of golf carts on city streets, providing for registration, providing certain prohibitions, providing for enforcement, providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Blanes.
All right, this is happy, fun stuff.
Commissioner, before you begin on your item, I did catch a scrivener's error in the ordinance. I just want to make sure it gets taken care of. It is on section,
Number 4?
well, we don't have sections here, so page
3 of 7,
Page
Mayor?
3, yeah.
page 3?
Says Old Cutler Road.
Yeah, Old
Yeah,
Cutler.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that should read, sir, from, instead of Old Cutler, it should read change to Southwest 8th Street, Southwest 57th Avenue, Southwest 67th Avenue, and Coral Way.
Okay, yes, just have it noted for the record.
So,
Go ahead.
so this is basically the same ordinance that Palmetto Bay has. Palmetto Bay residents have become very enthusiastic about owning golf carts. And I would like to bring that tradition here. And basically, the way it works is you buy a golf cart that has all the required safety features like seat belts, headlights, brake lights, turning signal, you know, all the mirrors, you know, all the required safety features. And you register the golf cart with us, with the city, and you'll pay a nominal fee, a yearly fee, I don't know, maybe $50 or so, and we give you a decal, and you put that decal on a certain part of the golf cart, so our police officers and code enforcement officers can see it, showing that you're abiding by the laws. And you can ride your golf cart anywhere in West Miami. Go to Publix, go to the restaurant, ride around. I know that Palmetto Bay sometimes on some of the weekends, I'm not sure if it's every weekend, but all the golf carts, they all meet up at a certain park, and they show off their golf carts, what they put on them or not, and it brings the community together. And I think it'd be a lot of fun, and improves the quality of life, and and it keeps. I think it will enhance our neighborhood. So I'm hoping that my colleagues agree, and we all get golf carts.
Yeah, listen, I wish, I want one. But I know there's a number of residents that are already using them in the city. So it's actually, we're just, I think, kind of following what people want to do already.
But the difference is that you won't have to take your golf cart to the DMV, and get it registered with the DMV and get a tag. If you do that, then your insurance goes up. I've heard it's not an easily done task. So what we're doing is we're facilitating our residents just to use the golf cart here in the city of West Miami.
Yeah, listen,
Plus, you don't want to go on the 836 or I-95 or 8th Street or 57th Avenue or Coral Way on it. You want to stay safe. You want to stay within.
Yeah, it'll be clear. I'm in favor. I'd rather people drive around in golf carts than in cars. They're far less dangerous for pedestrians and kids.
I
And
think it'll be a lot of fun. So.
anyways, go ahead. I can sense.
No, I hope you get a golf cart because I'm
getting one.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you on the little scooter. You don't wear a helmet. So
No, my wife.
You'll be
keeps
much
saying-
safer.
My wife keeps saying, "You're paying for that life insurance policy, aren't you?" She said, "Increase that thing."
I have a question, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Commissioner, this presentation, you talking about West Miami,
West Miami,
in the boundary of city of West Miami.
absolutely, yes.
And then I go back to the manager. All these things have regulations, right? The use of these golf carts are under an umbrella of regulations and, right?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Now I go back to the chief of police, Mr. Delgado. Your comment, if it's in the boundary of the city of West Miami, under the restrictions and regulation that the city places on that, is good enough, is safe enough? If we have our regulations only in the city boundary?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. So to answer your question, the state already sets forth, there's a statute
Can I
that...
ask a question again, in case you...
No, I heard, but I got to preface...
No,
I got to
in the
preface...
city,
Yes.
the regulations?
Yes.
If
I got to
it's no
preface my
problem.
answer, though,
If it's no problem.
by telling you that the state already sets forth certain statutes and provisions for these golf carts, and they have to be street legal, which is exactly what the commissioner described by having lights and mirrors and everything that a vehicle needs to have to make it safe. Therefore, the only thing we're doing is allowing it to happen in the city. The state already allows it. So all we're doing is saying we're going to allow it here, which is fine, so long as it is street legal.
Because I see the freebie, the little freebie, the car, is a Tesla, right? Whatever, before one was not Tesla. It's a small car in the city, and it's very small. So has been driving around the city, making a service, and we never have a problem.
No. The only difference is that vehicle has to be registered because it's a motor vehicle.
I know golf
Right.
carts and a freebie.
Right.
What I mean is, it's not a big truck, it's not, it's just a little car. So if it's on the regulations, on the regulation and restrictions, I don't see any problem. If, in the boundary, I make a motion.
And if
Oh,
you
I had
speed
some
over
questions.
25 miles an hour, you'll get a ticket.
Vice Mayor, go ahead.
Well,
Yeah,
we can
so
hold your motion a second.
I had, hopefully what are some friendly amendments that I believe our city attorney or manager have that they can read.
One of the issues, Vice Mayor, that you had brought up was on page 3 of 7, to make to change it to where it says, that it has to comply with City of West Miami regulations and remove neighboring jurisdictions to ensure that we don't get golf carts that don't comply with our regulations. That was on page 3 of 7 and also on page 4 of 7. On top of that, we wanted to make sure, but it's already written into this one, this version of it, that the user of a golf cart must have an approved driver's license.
Yeah, I also, that's it, you got, I just want to make sure that we follow some sort of code of conduct for the golf carts, that they're not blasting music, that they're not, a lot of, sometimes people buy the golf carts and then they put them on rims and lights and they're blasting music, speakers and disrupting the neighborhood. We have a very small neighborhoods here, so I want to make sure that,
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, Vice Mayor,
Keeping
and
with
just
that.
make sure I'm clear.
Mayor, there is a motion on the table.
I know, but there's also a friendly amendment to it. Let me just be clear, because I just want to make sure for my own knowledge. If somebody today registers with the DMV for a street legal golf cart, can they have it today in our city?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, you're saying if they registered with the state,
Yes.
do they have to register with the state?
No, I'm saying if they register with the state, it follows all street legal, it's a street legal golf cart, it's registered with the state, they have it registered. Can they have it and drive it on streets today in West Miami, and they can go to the Gables, and they can go on streets under 35 miles an hour, or whatever, is that legal today?
Yes, but you add additional requirements, which you can add under the state law. So your law essentially prevails.
Right.
It's not in conflict with the state law, and they'll have to register with you.
Okay, so it's actually, okay, interesting. So is it creating, because, Commissioner, I don't want to override your,
No,
but I just want to make sure, because I wasn't clear on this before. Because the way I understood it was, this is another pathway, right? If you wanted to just put it in the city, you didn't have to register with the DMV. Are we just adding a step now?
Yes. You're requiring them, so you know them, your ability to enforce, you know who they are.
Right.
Yeah, I guess, correct, you're adding this
We're adding a
requirement.
step.
yeah,
Go ahead,
I guess
Commissioner.
the way, okay, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, the way I read it is that we're providing certain restrictions around the use
Yeah, but I
of
don't think
golf
that's the
carts.
intent, I don't think that's the intent of your ordinance,
like the
right?
Vice Mayor said, the devil's in the details, you're trying to do something good, something positive for the community, and there's always, irresponsible people.
Yeah,
I definitely like it quiet,
Right.
nice, clean, safe, and I definitely would like to add to our requirements that they do not have any, they can have a radio and they can have a couple of speakers, but they cannot have the boom boxes and the, all these, I've heard that some people have installed those train horns on their golf carts,
Yeah.
So we can control that. Once they come to us and we give them, they pay their fee, they pay that little decal.
Mayor, I have it.
Well, I think, so
I have a
the
motion
intention,
on the table, and I ask it with the restrictions.
I understand, Commissioner.
All the restrictions,
but-
the city is going to place a restriction.
Yeah,
And I got a motion.
I just, hold your motion for a moment. If I can, I just want to, from my understanding, I just want to understand. If they only want to operate it in West Miami, do they have to register with the state still? Do you still have to register with the state?
No.
They can just go through this pathway? Okay, I mean, then let's,
Now, the other
Whatever-
thing is
whatever
the
amendments you wanna
safety,
make.
the safety issue. If the music is too loud,
Right.
it becomes a safety issue for the driver, for the operator, and for the passengers. because
okay,
you gotta
I guess the
So-
question is, do you have amendments on that now? Because I don't know
no,
that we're
my
going to.
amendment was simply to add something in there that they abide by the nuisance regulations of the city. So if you're not allowed to blast music and bother your neighbors from your home, you're also not allowed to do it from a golf cart that's driving through the neighborhoods. That's my point. I'm not trying to, I'm totally supportive of the item, of course. I'm just trying to add to
No,
make sure
I
that
just want to make sure that we
there's
have the wording.
guidelines around them.
So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, you have your own noise ordinance, which they must comply with actually,
So- and
whether
I-
they're in a golf cart or not.
I think that was the point, to put in that they must abide by the noise ordinance in here.
But we can further not allow them to have a souped-up sound system.
I'm
But
okay
you
with
see,
that.
but you see, that's, I don't have a problem with it, I'm just saying, we have to get it into the ordinance, and I just don't, do we have the wording on that? Do we have the wording on that right now in front of us, to get it into the ordinance right now? I mean, that's my only concern. You're talking about
Well,
sound
may I-
systems.
May I
Mayor,
ask, in terms of,
I have to clear this with the vice mayor
Yeah.
and the commissioner planning. I make a motion.
Sir, you have a motion, but you don't have a
No,
second,
no, let me
so
make a
I
motion.
can continue to talk.
I make a motion subject to the restrictions set by the city. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you.
The restriction will keep order in that. If you own the car, that's my motion. Subject to restrictions. It's
All right.
very clear.
Do we have to determine the fee, yearly fee?
We could probably do that by resolution, but do you have, we have a motion,
Mayor,
Yeah.
I mean,
may I?
There,
yeah,
You have to open the public hearing. This is a public hearing.
yeah, I mean, yeah. hold on.
so I would just say my amendment would be to add in that they must abide by the nuisance regulations
No,
in
but
the
you're
city.
talking about music, then you may talking about another thing.
Have you-
Under the restriction that the city set.
We're talking about the same thing.
Hold
We're-
on.
I make a motion
We're
for
saying the
that.
same
Hold
thing.
on. Have you already read the item, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
All right, public hearing on this item is now open. Anyone wish to speak on public hearing for this item? We have a speaker. Please state your name and address to the record.
Ivan Chavez, 5911 Southwest 9th Terrace. My only question is, if somebody owns a golf cart that they've registered with the state and paid those fees, is this going to be an additional fee and be required to register with West Miami?
All right, that's the question I had.
No, I don't think so.
Because as it stands, under the slow-moving vehicle state ordinance, you have your tag, you have insurance, it's a street-legal vehicle, you can drive all over the place. Yours, I believe, from what I'm understanding, is only pertains to folks that don't want to go through that process, that want to own a golf cart, just drive it within the city limits, pay their annual fee or however you determine. But where does it leave folks that are already driving their golf carts and already paid their licensing and fees? Are they going to be forced to pay an additional fee to West Miami?
They're
Right,
not gonna be forced.
Right, that was my question. I think the answer I got was
They're
that.
already-
I think that's why I'm trying to hold the conversation here for a second. Because I think that the answer that I got from the city attorney was that it will add that extra step.
yes.
But they already have a tag.
Well,
It's like a car.
it's,
Why do they have to register?
I would have to look again at the state's golf cart ordinance. But at one point, I mean, I didn't look at it last night, but at one point, the city could impose additional rules.
I mean, is there a way for the city to verify that the golf cart owner is already registered with the state,
They have a tag.
and then you're in compliance?
They have a tag. Florida issued tag.
What, can I make a comment?
Yes, go ahead.
If they have a tag, in my opinion, I agree that they should be in a separate category. If they need a decal to drive within the city and they don't have a tag, then they have to register with the city. But at the point where there's already somebody using their freedom to purchase a golf cart, go to the state and drive it around, for us to now throw another fee on top of it, even if it's minimal, it's still, I think, not what our jobs up here are to do. They already have that freedom, should let them do it. And then somebody that wants a decal to drive within the city, as the commissioner is stating, I think at that point, then they can come to us for that. But
You can hold your comments. Is anyone else for a public hearing on this item? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Back to the board. Okay. What are we thinking? You're the sponsor. What are you thinking?
If you would like it, you could make a clear statement, an amendment, that if you are already registered and licensed with the state of Florida, this ordinance does not apply.
Is that something you would, I think that's your intent.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I assume that.
Okay, can you motion it with that amendment?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I conceived the whole idea.
Right, that's what I thought. That's why I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And just to be clear, the decal would be entry level to drive within the city. Going to the state, getting a license plate is going above and beyond what would be required in our city, and that would be a separate
Right.
category.
Attorneys.
I believe Commissioner
We're saving you.
Suarez also included the motion with the amendment that they follow the nuisance regulation.
So-
The motion is very clear.
Well, there was no motion yet because we hadn't read the public hearing, but now you
I
would like
make
to
a
make a motion.
motion subject to the restriction the city of West Miami will set,
Second.
period.
Be very clear, with the amendment that you added. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. We have a second? Call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes,
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item B, this is a second reading and a public hearing, an ordinance of the City of West Miami relating to the regulation of dogs, providing prohibition of dogs on private property without permission, providing for duty to remove defecation materials, providing penalties for violation, providing for conflicts, severability and codification, and providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Blanes.
There's always a lot of legal verbiage,
Hold
but
on.
basically, this is a very simple, easy thing here. And in my conception, it only should allude to, we have all these regulations already, like you have your dog on a leash, you gotta pick up their poop, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But what we don't have is the disposal of the poop bag. And basically, the issue that we have, and other cities have the same issue, is that dog owners will discard their poop bag right on the swale, on the right-of-way. Or they will toss it in the alley between the homes. And we don't want that. That takes away from our quality of life, and it's a hygienic issue. So I want to add that to the already existing the existing ordinance. So,
Okay.
and that's it. That's basically the disposal of it.
This is a public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wishing to speak on this, please come forward now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Back to the board. I would only have one recommendation on this, is that the 3 fines that are mentioned in the ordinance, I think they should be doubled.
Mr. Bannon?
So will the commission,
That always works.
I think the 3 fines should be doubled to be more in line with just
There's
defecating without the bag.
It's been my,
They'll be in line with, you're not rewarded for just putting it in the bag and throwing it out there.
okay, absolutely. I agree. So
That would be a change on page 2, item 3, the 3 Is. The penalty for a violation shall be as follows. Instead of $20, it'll be $40 for the first violation. Instead of 30, it'll be 60 for the second violation. And instead of 40, it'll be 80 for the third violation and
Correct.
thereafter.
All right. I mean, if you accept that amendment, you can motion it forward. If anyone has any discussion on this, say it now, but otherwise.
and then if they don't comply, we'll make a meeting.
Well, that is not an official statement of the city, but do you want to make a motion on this?
Motion.
All right.
Second.
You have a motion, a second, call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you
Yes.
vote? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
thank you.
Item C, second reading and public hearing, an ordinance of the City of West Miami, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinance by addition to Chapter 12, Planning and Development, a new section to be titled Cost Recovery for Professional Review Services, establishing a cost recovery requirement such that for any application under the Land Development Regulation or other city code provisions that require review by professionals, consultants, contractors, or other agents on behalf of the city, the actual full cost for such review shall be paid by the applicant, providing for payment schedules, deposit accounts, expiration, enforcement, and any other applicable regulations, and providing for corrections, severability, conflicts, implementation, and an effective date. This item is sponsored by administration.
Mr. Manager, any context you want to add?
Well, it's come to light that our planning and zoning board is required to go out and get outside expert testimony, including traffic studies, professional fees such as for our attorneys, sometimes outside consultants, for reviews on large-scale projects. and we have not had a fee schedule set up for us to help us get cost recovery on these things so that the developers pay their fair share of the bill instead of leaving it hanging over us from general funds. Numerous other cities have adopted ordinances very similar to this one, and they've all been successful. It's actually part of the practice that's out there on many municipalities across the board, and I think it's time for us to do so so that we can ensure that we have adequate funding to continue our services.
All right, any questions for the manager on this item?
Motion.
We have a motion? No, sorry. I got it first. I got you. It's public hearing. The public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Now, is there a motion on this item? We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes,
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item D, second reading and public hearing, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, relating to background checks for city employees involved with city parks and recreational programs. Require criminal background checks for all persons working on or volunteering on city park property, prohibiting sexual offenders, sexual predators, certain violent felons, and certain controlled substance traffickers and non-legal immigrants from working or volunteering on park property owned or operated by the city, providing authority for enforcement by civil penalty, serving the spirit of protection shown as needed by the abuse and murder of Shannon Melendi, graduate of Miami Southwest High School, providing severability, inclusion in the code, and an effective date. This item is sponsored by Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
This is a public hearing. The public hearing is now open on this item. Anyone wish to speak on this item? Come forward now. Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
motion, I make a motion.
Okay.
I remember the case of
Yeah,
Shannon Melendi.
yeah,
I know the family.
Yeah, the Shannon Melendi Act is
I
where,
remember how
Yeah.
that guy killed her.
yeah, we're way late to the game on implementing this, so,
Now, actually, a lot of people, we have to be sure
yep,
who we contract,
so,
to be sure. and to
Second.
check the
I have a
background.
question,
Go
if
ahead.
you don't mind. Well, I'll start by saying that I'm a proud alumni of Miami Southwest Senior High School, and actually 48th Street in front of the school is named after her. So this is very serious, and I think it's very important for our city to adopt this. I had also some amendments on this that I believe our attorney has. If you can read them, please, Mr. Attorney.
I thought they moved them last time.
I'll step in because we don't seem to have that paperwork with us. One of the issues, Vice Mayor, was to remove the section on page 5, section CI, that where it says violent felony, to remove anything. If you have a violent felony, you cannot work in our parks, period. There's a clause here that you, after 5 years, you could come back and work in parks. That same section is basically repeated on page 7 as well. So it's the removal of that section on 11D.
is that it?
Well, so on F, under penalties and enforcement, I also suggested that we add a revocation policy so that the city can, to save the city from any issues, like a strike policy and a strike policy, like a, 3 strikes you're out kind of thing.
Okay. On the First Amendment, my suggestion would be to move it up to 10. The only reason is there is some constitutional things that come into play here, and I don't want our act to fall based off constitutional challenges. I would, if you'd like, I'd like to move it up to 5. I mean, sorry, from 5 to 10 years. And then on the strike, make your amendment. I'm fine with it.
Okay, and then also the 5 years, so same thing would apply under
Correct.
1190, section 1190C.
Yes.
Any employee?
Yes.
Same thing, 5
Yep.
years, I guess moving it to 5.
From-
10,
Correct.
yeah. That's it.
Anyone from the board?
State law doesn't supersede any of this?
State law, we can be more restrictive than the state law.
Okay, all right,
We just can't be so restrictive that we violate constitutional law.
okay.
It's a nice middle ground.
Oh, Mayor, sorry.
Go ahead.
There was one more. Under D, it says the following persons shall be exempted from this definition, one-day events. So when we're doing like our Christmas holiday event, that's on page 3 or 36. There's two numbers here.
36.
So I just had a question about that. You know, why are one-day events excluded?
Mr. Manager?
I mean, that's the way I read it.
The reason the one-day
You can
events are
clarify.
excluded is because those are people that, sometimes you get vendors that's an undue, I mean, we can certainly add it, it's just going to add,
I mean, we have to be realistic with what we have, right? Is the goal of the act and the goal of this is to make sure that people who we're putting in constant contact with kids are not people who are violent felons, who have definitely, especially obviously, I mean, that's already in the thing, are not sexual predators, people we don't want around the kids. When it comes to one-day events, and that's why this is written this way, and that's why the state wrote it this way, wrote it this way as well, is it's practically impossible to do the screenings and to vet the to do background checks on all the vendors that come for one-day events. That being said, on one-day events, parents are with the kids. We're obviously all there. It's not the same as, for example, leaving the kids at the recreation center for after-school camp or summer camp or things that you're leaving kids places with individuals. So that's the reason for that. I want to implement something that we should have implemented a long time ago, which is implementation of state law, but also, be realistic about our ability to implement it and our ability to enforce our own law. I don't know if you agree with me, Mr. Manager, on that.
that's exactly why it's written like that into state law, and why a lot of other municipalities have drafted it as such as well. I mean, at all these events, staff is there, anybody that's working there, we're overseeing them and looking at them. And it would be very, very hard for our police department
Sure.
to do these background checks for our one-day events.
Okay. I thought of just like
course.
Santa Claus for Christmas, Of course, I think sometimes we hire folks that we've worked with in the past, so we have a rapport with that person, so. But, okay, I appreciate the explanation.
The
All right.
majority of the time, our Santa Claus is our Parks Director.
Yeah.
Okay.
No bad time.
Got it. No, and I know.
Can we get a motion with the amendments?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
You're
Yes.
talking about Shannon Melende. You make a motion, beginning.
Yeah, but, okay, we have a motion with the amendments?
Yeah, make a motion in the
Okay, with the
beginning.
amendment, second.
I
Call the
told
roll.
you, I recommend make a background check for everybody,
Right.
not for illegals or legals, everybody.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, for
Call the roll.
All the
clarification,
people who
motion
applied
by,
to work here, we should make a background,
Absolutely.
everybody.
We have a
We don't
motion.
care if it's
motion by
court
Commissioner
or where it come
Suarez,
from.
second by Vice Mayor
We should
Milian
do-
Orbis.
As amended.
With the
We have to be
amendments.
clear.
the
in it.
amendments.
Don't talk too much. Be clear. Everybody who wants to work in West Miami needs to make a background check. It's simple. We don't have to go around. That's my motion.
Oh, okay, well, do you motion it with the amendments from the table?
I tell you, I will go by this. I know there has been a lot of talk around.
Well,
But
'cause
I just
there's-
want to
there's
know to
things
be
that we
sure
have to-
that everybody should have a background.
Absolutely. There's things that we have to put into, we have to pass laws that have words in them, so we have to make sure that we pass them
All right.
in order to implement the ones that you want to see.
Whatever
So-
check you make it with the law, okay.
It was a change, but the vice mayor suggested to make the violent criminals years more, so it's more restrictive. It makes it tougher, it makes the law bigger, more bite to the law. It's a
But
more tough law.
I tell you, I don't know, the vice mayor was talking about things, and I don't know if she was talking about legal or not legal. I don't care about legal or not legal. I care every person who apply for work here should have a background check. Simple. That's my motion.
Do you motion this item with the amendment?
I don't know her amendment.
Well, then, we're not talking about, random things, and, we're talking about an item on the agenda, there's a public hearing, it's been advertised. We have to pass or not pass this item.
Well,
Can I have the manager
I make
repeat
a motion
the?
like it's written here. That's it.
Sir,
Co-
can we have the
Commissioner, let-
manager repeat the amendments, please?
The Commissioner, and first of all, everybody that does apply for a job in City of West Miami does go through a thorough background check. This is for our events and people that use our parks to ensure that they also comply with the Shannon Melendi law. The amendment that's on the table is if you have had a felony conviction, you cannot work in a park as it stands now for 5 years. The Vice Mayor has made a motion expanding that from 5 years to 10 years. So if you have a felony conviction.
From 5 to 10?
From
I
5 to-
agree with that. That's it.
That's all I'm
Simple.
saying, that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
So we have a
make it
motion with
simple.
amendments. We have a motion with amendments. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Second.
All right, call the roll.
Okay, Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item would be item 11G, and this is a first reading, an ordinance of the City of West Miami, Florida, creating a senior assistance program, providing monetary assistance to eligible senior residents, identifying funding sources, establishing eligibility criteria, providing for implementation, administration, and an effective date. This item is sponsored by Vice Mayor Milian Orbis.
I have a ton of questions on this item that I'm working through with administration. I'd like to defer this item.
It's a first reading, so.
Yeah, but I think the questions I have kind of go past the second reading. I don't know if my colleagues have questions. I'd make a motion to defer,
I mean, it's a
but,
first reading, so we're not even voting.
oh, we are voting on the item, 10 to 2.
I also, there's a lot of implications, unseen implications here. So I agree with the mayor.
He's asking for defer. That's what he's asking for.
I agree with him.
I have a motion to defer the item. Is there a second on the motion?
Second?
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any against?
We need more information in this. This is too short.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'll vote no on the deferral.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please register the Vice Mayor as a no on the deferral. Read the next item, please.
Item H, this is a first reading, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida relating to Military Affairs Board, creating West Miami Military Affairs Board, providing for powers and duties, composition and appointment on board, qualifications, organization, financial support, staff and commission, providing for codification, severability, and an effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Chavez.
It's a first reading.
If I may interrupt,
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I apologize, but I just want to make sure the motion to defer, that the record shows we're deferring the public hearing as well.
Correct.
We're not skipping a public hearing, we're setting it next time. Thank you.
Correct. We have a motion on this item? We
Motion.
have a motion?
Second.
Second. Call the roll, please.
It's Commissioner Suarez, how do you
Yeah,
vote?
yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milan Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes. And the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance will take place on May 7, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Selfishly, I'm going to move pretty quickly with these, so if you guys can help me out, trying to catch a flight.
I was
So-
going to ask you,
Go ahead.
if I may. I would like to move, I only wanted to speak on I, and we had an amendment on P.
Okay.
I'd be happy to move the balance of the agenda, which is J, K, L, M, N, O, Q. And, I mean, those are my items.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
move my
let me-
items. I'll yield
Let me just
to
see if
the
there's any have
rest.
any questions, or please,
With the exception of I and P.
with the exception of I and P. I and P.
I'll move them
Why?
unless
Because
anyone
P-
has any questions.
Because P, you have comments on P?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the attorney was going to read just
Sure.
an amendment on the title.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
may I say, we can accomplish that functionally, but we'd have to vote on each one.
Just read through them, it'll be faster than figuring out who has got questions on each one. Just read them through. Item I, let's go.
Okay,
What's our
item
amendment?
Resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida relating to autism, establishing April as Autism Acceptance Month in the City of West Miami, urging Miami-Dade County and the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office to establish a uniform autism decal, providing for effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. So today, April 2nd, we recognize Autism Awareness Month, and I'll keep it brief. Up on the screen is our Occupants with Autism decal, which we created. We've been working on it for quite some time with our police department and our administration. And this decal will enable first responders to realize that there is a person with developmental disabilities or autism in a home or a vehicle that they are approaching for an emergency. Our police department has also done the trainings to train our first responders how to deal with persons with autisms, and they have become certified in this. So I just wanted to say that we'll be launching the decal very soon, so look out for that. And this is what our decal is going to look like. It's very much like the Miami-Dade County one and other municipalities that have done the same. And with that, I move the item.
I agree with the Vice Mayor.
Second.
Because autism is a problem today. It's growing. So everything we can do related to autism is a positive step with this problem.
We have a motion and a
I
second.
make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none. Read next item, please.
Item J, resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami declaring the month of March as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the City of West Miami, recognizing the partnership with the WOW Center and the outstanding contributions of WOW Ambassador Jacqueline Marie Rose, providing for an effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
I'll go ahead and move it.
Yeah, move the item. Do you have a second? You have a second, call the roll. Sorry, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against?
Yeah, but I like to make a comment.
Go ahead.
I remember that girl who was here that you brought, and I saw a picture around in the program. You had the wow, have a picture. She's there. Was a beautiful thing. See her, working, and somebody they came 2 or 3, right? More than one.
She did an internship
Yeah.
at the city.
It was a big effort, and I think it's good because those children, they have a hope in their life for something. See, the parents, the family, the friends are helping them. So I agree with that. I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know we did a proclamation for Jacqueline, and she's very loved by her city. Next item, please.
Item K, resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida relating to landscaping, supporting Florida-friendly landscaping on city-owned properties, parks, and encouraging its use in large-scale developments to improve government efficiency and reduce waste, providing for effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
I'll move it.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager. If you can hold your motion. Go ahead.
I just can't recall whether on the previous item, sorry to interrupt, whether you actually had a vote.
Oh, I believe we did.
Everybody was for it, but I don't think the record actually.
Let's be record clear. Item I, we had a motion, we had a second. All in
Yes.
favor, say aye.
They were in favor.
Yes.
Aye.
good.
All,
Any against? Record's clear now. All right.
okay.
Next item, please.
And we are on item K.
Correct.
I just
All right,
read
so
it, yes.
we have a motion by the Vice Mayor.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions on this? I'll just hold the motion a second. Any questions on this?
Yeah, just,
All right,
what,
hold the
you
motion,
said-
go
you said
ahead.
Florida native?
Yes. Florida-friendly landscaping.
Okay. Bougainvillea, Gombolimbo?
Yeah, it's already predetermined.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Hearing none. Item passes. Next item.
Item L, resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami regarding women's history, recognizing March as Women's History Month, honoring the legacy of West Miami's female leaders, and lighting City Hall pink to commemorate the occasion, providing for effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
Move it.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item, please.
Item N, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida relating baby changing stations, directing the managers to study and report to the commission on the feasibility and requiring all new commercial properties obtaining a building permit to include a baby changing station in each public restroom, providing for an effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Milian Orbis.
This is a study and report. Do you want to move it?
Motion.
You have a motion?
Second.
You have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item, please.
Item N, resolution of mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida relating to permitting, directing the city manager to study and recommend improvements to streamline the permitting process, to expand online services, and to establish estimated timelines for permit review, providing for an effective date. Sponsored by Vice Mayor Milian Orbis.
Motion.
It's a study and recommendation. We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes.
Item O, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida relating to transparency in political polling, urging increasing transparency in political polling for the residents of the West Miami, of Miami-Dade County, and of the state of Florida, providing for an effective date. Sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
Motion.
I'm going to be voting no on this item, but we have a motion.
I did the motion.
Yeah, we have a motion.
Were you talking transparency? This is the election department.
No.
Well,
Because the transparency of the elections,
No. This is
the election
a,
department is who,
this is a resolution supporting a Florida Senate bill that seeks to enhance transparency in political polls that are done to our residents.
yeah, but we have here one or two places to vote.
No, this has nothing to do with voting or the elections department. So the Senate currently has a bill 528 sponsored by Senator Brian Avila that seeks transparency in political pollings, like the polls that are sent by phone, asking if you support this or that in an upcoming election.
Even telephonic bank and those things.
No,
Just,
polls.
this is sponsored by politicians?
Yeah, but what do you want? Which specific you
It's
want?
almost like
Which specific you want to be more transparency? Because we
impossible.
don't have problem here. So far.
Anyways, there's a motion on the table, Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
I don't know enough about this.
So just to be clear, this is the polls that get sent to people's homes?
Or text. So as it is right now, you can send out a poll without disclosing where it's coming from. And this seeks to have regulations around that so that
No,
it's
I
not
understand
misleading to
that. But
residents.
so far, our elections are, small, and we never have a problem with this so far.
This has nothing to do with elections. I mean, yeah. It has nothing to do with the elections process.
I'd like to see more clarification about that.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Or either item dies or gets deferred, whatever board wants to do.
If you
Right now, we don't have a
Let's
second.
defer this.
All right, we have a deferral.
That way
Is that a motion?
Is that a motion to defer?
Motion to defer.
Okay. We have a motion to defer. I'll second that motion. That's fine. All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against?
No.
We have a register of the Vice Mayor against. Move next item.
Item P, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami regarding water fluoridation, supporting the city of Miami Beach's call for a review of water fluoridation practices in Miami-Dade County, transmitting a copy to Miami Beach and Miami-Dade County, providing an effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
Go ahead.
So I believe the attorney had an amendment to this?
Yes. If the vice mayor chooses to offer this amendment, this is because, of course, the Miami-Dade County Commission already voted
Right.
to stop
Yes.
fluoridation. It's in front of the mayor, so it's not Miami. So here's what the amendment is if she chooses to make it. Section 1 is amended to read, "The City of West Miami supports the Miami-Dade County Commission's decision to cease fluoridating the public waters supplied by the Miami-Dade Water and Sewer Department, considering the purported benefits and potential risks to risk identified in recent scientific literature." And sections 2, whereas clauses 6 and 7, and the title would be conformed in the same way, deleting Miami Beach and referring to the Miami-Dade County Commission.
All right.
Well, Mayor,
go ahead.
comment. I think in this case, my opinion, we are a municipality, we drink the water for WASA. If they have the power to take the fluoride out, we don't have any other choice. I think we should follow what the county decisions.
Right, so the question is, the county made a decision, and now it's up to the mayor to veto it or not.
Yeah, because
So-
we cannot fight with that, because if they approve that,
But
we will drink the water without fluoride.
but we can support their,
No, we will follow whatever,
Yeah,
in my
I-
opinion, we will follow whatever the county decides.
No, we will have to follow what the county decides, to be very clear, we will have to. I think everyone, I don't think anyone needs a lecture on fluoridation here, I think everyone's got their opinions.
I think that if you knew the history of fluoridation, I think that you would agree that.
I'm in agreement with you.
It needs to be taken out.
I'll motion the item as amended.
Second.
Call the roll?
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner
Chavez.
Chavez, Commissioner
I'm sorry.
Suarez,
The other Chavez.
You can't, you know.
You know.
Chavez 1, Chavez 2.
Yes.
It's very
He-
close.
He's a third brother.
Chavez and Suarez.
Triplet.
Commissioner Suarez?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item Q, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, Florida, directing the city manager to initiate the process of engaging a professional janitorial service to maintain city facilities, authorizing a study to identify service needs, cost, and contracting options, providing for a report and recommendations within 30 days, and providing for an effective date, sponsored by Vice Mayor Milian Orbis.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Motion?
I'd like to defer this item. I'd like to make a motion to defer this item, actually. I don't know if anyone will second the motion, but
I kind of agree too. There's a lot of implications here. I mean.
Can I ask the manager, I believe, told me, you mentioned that you were already working on something like this, that this would assist you with the process.
But I have a opinion
Can
here.
clarify
Go
on
ahead.
that, please?
We should have a recommendation, a report from the administration.
That's what it's asking for.
You have a report?
No,
I
no,
don't.
it's asking for a report.
Oh, you have a
Yeah,
report?
so this
So
would bring back a
You're asking for a
report.
report that the administration will make a study and
Correct.
come back to us.
Correct.
I don't have a problem with that.
I have a motion to defer on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
There's going to be disagreement, so let's just call the roll. Call the roll?
Okay.
Your motion
Commissioner
is deferred?
Suarez, how do you vote to defer the item?
Mayor, your motion was to
To
defer?
defer, correct.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Milian Orbis?
No.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-1, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item R, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami relating to banking operations requiring 2 signatures for all banking operations, providing for an effective date, sponsored by administration.
Housekeeping.
This is a housekeeping item, yes,
You have
sir.
a motion?
and Changing.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item.
Item S, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami endorsing and joining in support of Florida's House of Representatives Bill 929, promoting firefighter occupational safety and mental health, and providing for an effective date, sponsored by Commissioner Chavez.
Commissioner?
I'll make this quick. This is being heard in its second committee tomorrow, but briefly to cover it, it requires the state to establish best practices for firefighter mental health, focusing on resiliency, stress management, peer support, and access to mental health. It provides suicide reporting requirements to improve tracking and prevention efforts. And then it discusses chemical hazards that are in our protective gear. And then it encourages a 42-hour work schedule for firefighters to promote a healthier work and life outcomes. So I'm sure you guys are aware, it's been happening a lot over the years, but especially recently. Just yesterday, they had a ceremony for Captain Bill Gustin with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue. He's a legend in the fire service, and unfortunately, he's no longer here with us. This bill is going to start hopefully helping to bring to light what's occurring in our profession and hopefully provide resources to help resolve that issue and alleviate that and make sure that guys know that there's another alternative.
Too late for me.
I'm happy to move it.
We have a motion.
Thank you.
Motion.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, item passes. Next item.
Item T, request for proclamation honoring the 50th anniversary of La Liga contra el Cáncer, sponsored by Vice Mayor Emiliano Orbis.
You want to move it?
Sure.
Oh,
I'll
I
move
mean,
it.
it's the request.
It's
so
a-
the-
it's
yeah,
a request for proclamation.
Item T and U, we have a blessing from the commission. I'm fine with both of them.
Do you need more information on that?
No, I got information from administration, so that's fine. We're good there. If anyone, does anyone have a problem with any item, one of those two requests?
No, it's okay.
We're good there. Appointments to boards.
Yes, I got one.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I have here with us today Christian Felipe.
Stand up. If you
I would like to appoint him. Come come on, Christian. You're going to introduce yourself?
Hi all, my name is Christian Felipe. I'm a local in West Miami, moved here, I want to say about a year and a half ago, but born and raised in Miami in general. So ran into Commissioner Blanes on a walk earlier today. He talked to me about the board and the opportunity, and I've always kind of wanted to get involved, so this seemed like the perfect
We
spot
want to
to.
throw him in the frying pan.
Which board?
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Code
Awesome.
Enforcement Board, we are on item 1V1, Code Enforcement Board.
Yes. So Christian, our city clerk will contact you. I believe you have his
Yes, I
information.
have his
She'll tell you all the
information.
ins and outs,
Sounds good.
and then when you got complaints, you can call me.
Awesome, will do. Thank you, I look forward
Congrats.
to it.
Let's
Appreciate it.
take all the appointments at once, and we'll just motion them all together. I'd like to appoint Christian Chavez to the Recreation Advisory Board. Does anyone have any other appointments? Any other appointments for any of the other boards at this
The
time?
Youth Commission,
Go ahead.
Sophia Bello.
Okay, for the, this is a recommendation, why, I mean, we go by, item number one by one, in case, not to avoid confusion. Art Advisory Board, anybody for the Art Advisory Board?
You already had mine, Rolando Llanes, right?
Rolando
From
Llanes,
before,
that's the only one we have, one member only.
Okay, we'll start filling that out. Anyone for the Art Advisory Board right now? Next, Branding Board. Anyone for the Branding Board right now?
Liddy Castellanos.
Lady Castellanos. Anyone for the Branding Board right now this meeting? Youth Commission. Did you get Commissioner Chavez's appointment already? Sophia Bello?
For the Youth Commission,
Sofia Abello.
Sofia Bello.
So it was Mr. Felipe for Code Enforcement, Christian Chavez for Recreation Advisory, Liddy Castellanos for Branding, and Sofia Bello for Youth Commission. Any other
Yes.
appointments? All right. Next item.
Item 12, consent agenda items.
There's none.
None.
Next item.
Item 13, good of the order.
Go ahead. You're making me look for my flag. Go ahead.
Sorry about the Code Enforcement Board. How many spots were there? Was it just the one?
Code enforcement, we need,
No, there's a few more vacancies. There's a report in the back. Yeah.
yes, we have it here. Yes, we need one and maybe another one as an alternate, as an alternate member. I think we need one more.
I need one more seat and one more
One
alternate.
more,
alternate.
yes, and one alternate.
If it's okay with you guys. I'm going to give you a name later if it's okay with you guys, if no one else has a name. I'm just texting them to make sure that they're still
Okay.
wanting to be on it, so I'll let you know later on.
All right, anything else for good of the order? Seeing none, that is all the items on the agenda. Meeting adjourned.